पुलकित सिंह
यस सर।
झाझर से हैं।
हाँ जी सर।
झज्जर।
हाँ जी सर।
आपके फादर सूबेदार थे आर्मी में।
हाँ जी सर।
आपको आर्मी में कोई दिलचस्पी नहीं?
सर काफ़ी दिलचस्पी थी। इनफैक्ट मैंने 12वीं के बाद एसएसबी भी दिया था, बट आई कुड नॉट क्वालिफाई दैट टाइम अनफॉर्चुनेटली, बट देयर आफ्टर आई इवन क्वालिफाइड माय IIT entrance exam and then I made my career in that field.
So you did a dual degree in mechanical engineering?
Yes sir, dual degree.
From IIT Banaras?
Yes sir.
You did that in 2015?
Yes sir.
After that, what you have been doing?
Sir, after that I had 1 year experience with DRDO as a scientist. Then I left my job in 2016. Thereafter, I gave my attempt in UPSC, and again in 2018, I joined in the edutech sector in the private firm.
What is the nature of that job? Curriculum developer. What a mechanical engineer doing as a curriculum developer?
So in that, initially I had developed interactive books on mechanical engineering itself.
Oh.
And currently I am curating a course on project management.
Okay, good. So your subject was also mechanical engineering.
Yes sir.
Is this your first interview? UPSC interview?
No sir, not first. It's my third UPSC.
Third UPSC interview.
Yes.
Banaras is a twin city with one of the cities in Japan. Do you know which one?
Kyoto sir.
Kyoto. What do they do in these twin cities?
Sir, in that with Japan government we had a MOU signed that we will be developing these cities on similar lines to promote the similarities that they have in terms of the cultural significance both the countries have, both the cities have in their respective countries.
Okay. These dead bodies in Ganges, in Banaras.
Yes sir.
What do you think of it? Why it happened?
So because the cultural significance that we associate with the practice of immersing their immortals in the rivers, especially Ganga, the significance it has, the religious significance it has.
But you generally burn them, no?
Pardon me sir, I cannot hear you sir.
Generally
They
we
generally burn, you know.
Yes sir, they
जलाते
burn,
हैं हमको.
they burn it and after that they immerse some of the immortals from that, the ashes that they.
नहीं, यहाँ तो dead bodies
Their
ही
dead bodies have been flowing over the Ganges. Why is this?
Pardon me sir, I did not recall
Did
this.
you hear about the Kanpur and that region?
dead bodies floating
Yes, sir.
in
I think that was very unfortunate and reflected very poor in terms of giving them a proper cremation. And I think it was also because of that people were in a kind of hysteresis during the COVID pandemic and they wanted to get rid of the dead bodies, and it was very unfortunate that the incidents happened.
Okay. You stay in Panchkula?
No sir, I am staying in Gurgaon. This is address where my parents are staying.
Parents are staying in Panchkula. Okay. This sharing of the capital is a unique experiment, no? Punjab and Haryana sharing the capital.
Yes sir.
So, what is your view?
So my view is, I think definitely some alternative centers should be developed for both the states. If that will in fact boost development in the entire state itself. But I think otherwise now Chandigarh they see much more than that, and they associate both the state associate with the identity of the state itself. So that is currently what is hindering the process of creating new capital for both the states.
That's why Andhra and Telangana didn't adopt that model. They
Yes.
could have made Hyderabad the common capital or something.
Sir, in that case, they don't have even geographical continuity also, vis-a-vis that we had seen with respect to Chandigarh. And I think it's always better that both the state had some independence in this regard.
Okay. How is your relationship with Pakistan?
So on our part, we always extend a hand of friendship and negotiations. But unfortunately, Pakistan has a deep state, and it is run by their army, and because of those compulsions, they have their inherent tendencies not to come forward towards diplomatic negotiations in this regard.
So, what is the way forward? Do you feel we can normalize the relationship?
So being an optimistic, I think it will be normalized in coming future, because if we see even compare the sentiment within Pakistan, people there are quite more in terms of having a feeling of brotherhood towards the Indians, and even some of the political parties are having a different view. Only the army is hindering the process right now, and I think with some time even they will realize that it is a futile exercise in engaging cross-border terrorism.
And what is your view about this one rank, one pension? One rank, one pay, one rank, one pension.
So I think that has been settled now by the government,
Yeah.
and that was because
Is it a good move?
I think on the part of the veterans, they were also having quite significant demand, because the inflation is same for all of them, whether irrespective of when they retired, their expenses are more or less same. And I think on those reasons they were quite reasonable, and at the same time, I think the government was having the challenge in terms of higher expenditure. But now if the government has accepted it, I think that was something which will keep both the things happy and have a good.
What is your view about this creating the new post in the army of CDS?
Yes, sir. It's
Over and above the three chiefs.
So it has been suggested by the various committees, also the Kargil Review Committee, the Chandra Committee also suggested. I think that is required from the aspect of better integration and cooperation in terms of leading the efforts that all the forces are having in terms of ensuring the objectives of internal security.
Then why should I have defense secretary? What is the need of defense secretary then?
So defense secretary majorly comes from a background of being a civil servant bureaucrat, and I think a person who is in the forces, he has a better understanding regarding it, and on these reasons I believe the government might have thought about of the post going to a military veteran.
Recently, the CDS made a statement that the Air Force is a very good support for the army, which the AR chief in a way rebutted. Have you read about that?
So that is the unfortunate the thinking that has prevented the formation of integrated commands. It's very unfortunate that somehow they had been set as a supporting arm, not as one of the leading arm, and that needs to be resolved effectively. I think that was the objective for which CDS was created.
And it came from CDS, that statement.
So I think that was very unfortunate, and I think in coming time better wisdom will prevail in this.
Haryana, what is your vision to take Haryana forward? Tomorrow, suppose you are the administrator in Haryana, what will be your vision? How to take Haryana forward?
So in that regard, I think first we need to understand the current status of Haryana. They are predominantly dependent on the farming activities, so more food processing industry should come up. The FPOs should be promoted so that they can go into the manufacturing sector as well. So at the same time, I believe even the manufacturing industry should be promoted so that significant dependence on agriculture is reduced. And sir, moreover, seeing the growth that we have seen in regions like Gurgaon. Similar models could be also adopted in regions like Mewat, Nuh, which are requiring significant concern in this regard. So I believe that this is some of the areas along which the government
So,
might.
Mewat and Nuh is more notorious. Don't you think that these areas are more notorious in nature and inviting any entrepreneur to set up a unit over there or a building? Will people come?
Sir, unfortunately, that's a challenge that the administration has to face, and that is something additional they have to overcome. And I believe, very unfortunate to say that even Gurgaon was also infamous 2 to 3 decades ago for the same things. But if we could do the change there, I believe in this region also we can go. Yes.
Pulkit, you have interest in whiteboard experience making videos.
Yes, sir.
So, don't you think that this technology has been overused and now there are better technologies?
So in that case, right now we have knife also and we have sword also. I think depending on utility, that is also relevant. What I find, this technology is very cost effective. So depending on a person's capability and his requirement, he can definitely go for both. And yes, definitely there have been significant improvements, but it can also be not disregarded in that sense.
And can you name some advances in the field of mechanical engineering? According to you, most important advances recently?
So the recent advantages are in the form of the mechatronics that has application in fields of automation, robotics, and moreover, sir, in recent times there is more emphasis in terms of better management of supply chain using the concepts of push-in system and just-in-time inventory management systems.
And, are you aware of 3 famous laws of robotics?
Yes, sir. Asimov gave the laws. The first law went like this: a robot should not, in any case, harm a human. And second, he has to abide by the a person's directions, but in that he has to take care of the first law. And in third law also, it is said that it somewhere goes on these lines only, that he has to somehow stick to them. So overall, the objective was that they wanted to cater the fear that in future the same robotics might turn into a Frankenstein monster and might harm the humans itself.
Which is the country having largest number of robots?
Yes, sir, Japan.
And what is the status of India?
So in India also we are moving significantly. Like DRDO has a dedicated lab in this regard, CARE. And in recent times we have developed some robots like Netra and Daksh to aid it. And moreover, banking system is now adopting it in the form of chat box. It's still an emerging technology, but overall.
And do you have some concerns about coming of 5G technologies? So, of course, it will improve your internet speed and surfing of internet. But are there some negative sides also?
Yes, sir, definitely. Firstly, the cost, and secondly, it will also more deepen the digital divide. And the most significant is fear of techno-colonialism that we are fearing. Because right now, currently, the Chinese firms have a significant dominance in terms of 5G technology. And this is a view which is not only restricted to India but globally as well. They fear that in coming times it could be also a challenge in terms of internal security.
In India, the dispensation of justice is said to be very delayed. You don't get justice time.
Yes.
Litigants have to run to courts for years together. What is the remedy?
So the remedy will be, I think, in improving the processes that are involved in it, right from the investigating part to the prosecution. And even in judiciary, we need to improve processes by including technology, better data management using ERPs, enterprise resource software, so that there is better management of the cases at the court level. And sir, I think it has to be a holistic reform in this regard by improving all the processes that are involved.
Pulkit, you have interest in agroforestry also. What is the future of organic farming in our country?
Sir, in that case, we will have to do the SWOT analysis. The future seems good in terms of the benefits it gives, like reduced dependence on chemicals, fertilizers, and also they are said to be more healthy. But the challenges lies in terms of they have a lower yield, they have high input cost, and challenge in terms of ensuring availability of manure. So this is a challenge. We cannot say that it's will be having a good future, but these challenges need to be overcome because customers right now are having a good demand of this.
And what do you think of the kind of investment where people are doing in developing driverless cars? So, is it worth it?
Sir, in some context, it will be definitely worthing, like especially in using it in the manufacturing industries, in the shop floor. It will definitely help in terms of automating the systems. And sir, regarding their applying on the roads, we will have to look forward so that they don't have adverse consequences. So that is something the future will tell in terms of their utility on the roads.
Thank you, Pulkit.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, renaming of cities and universities. You studied at BHU, at DBHU, no?
Yes,
So
sir.
now all of a sudden renaming of cities and colleges and universities. Do you think it is feasible and good or healthy for the society?
Sir, in this, what I believe government wants to have some promote the cultural significance of the places because of which it goes. While at the same time, I believe just changing the names will not suffice. If it is better if we go for structural reforms also in this regard and improve the status of towns and universities also. And in fact, sir, it has been found that at times it leads to difficulties also. Like from my own example, I can quote is if we change the name of colleges, it helps in terms of giving them recognition to the immediately passing out student at the foreign universities because they are recognized by their older names and it becomes difficult for them to recognize the new name of the university in terms of getting the relevance.
That is the only impact you see.
So that is from my personal anecdote. Otherwise also there could be also challenges in terms of location of industries, changing the addresses that will also be hindering.
Okay, but the harmony in the society is not also affected by this because the other side of the the section sees this in a different way.
Sir, I believe it could be a concern, but it is not a major has not been a major concern. And secondly, I believe the executive has prerogative in this regard that how they think that will be more effective. And we do abide by the principles of secularism in this regard also whenever we go.
ठीक है, thank you very much.